Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Malishka is looking for a way to get Rishi back after realizing that Rishi is already moving too close to Lakshmi and Lakshmi's court hearing begins. So let's continue from there. It is Lakshmi's court hearing day. Rishi and Lakshmi are going inside the court holding hands. Malishka says the more I try to separate them, the more they are getting closer and their bond is getting stronger. She says what to do. Why did I ruin the Obray's name? It is so that Rishi kick out Lakshmi, but Rishi is dying to get Lakshmi freed. Abe asks Malishka not to worry and says let our turn comes and says you'll win with our plan and this Lakshmi cannot return. Malishka asks if Abe is sure. Abe says I am your dad and I don't do the work where I am not sure. The inspector tells the constable to be alerted and to give him 200% as Monish is dangerous. He says even his gang can come to free him or do bomb blast. The public prosecutor lawyer comes to the court. Mr. Basu greets him. The prosecutor lawyer asks him to keep his greeting with himself. He says you have taken a wrong case of Lakshmi Obray. It is an open and short case and Mr. Basu says he will get the case closed. Virendra comes there with Rishi and Neelam. Mr. Basu says your daughter will go home today. Neelam tells him that her family's respect should not be ruined. Lakshmi was present in the hotel that day and says she should be punished, but not our hotel's name. She says the punishment should not be given to the Obray Radiant. The prosecution lawyer says so, Neelam Obray regard Lakshmi guilty. Mr. Basu asks if Neelam is the judge or if the lawyer is the judge. Shalu asks Ayush if everything will be fine. Ayush asks her to relax. Neelam sees Kiran and Abe coming to the court and sitting next to her. She says Abe is here. Kiran says Malishka called him. Neelam asks where is she? Malishka thinks that it is difficult to get a parking spot in Mumbai. She sees Balvinda in disguise and she thinks if Rishi called him to save him. She asks who are you? Balvinda tells her that he is here and it teases her. Malishka asks Balvinda that why did he come here? Balvinda says Lakshmi is going to jail. I came to see her. Malishka says Lakshmi is not that beautiful that you will come to see her. Balvinda says what is in Lakshmi you don't have. Malishka asks Balvinda not to compare her with Lakshmi. Balvinda says I will drink wine as Lakshmi is going to jail. He says what if Lakshmi comes out? Malishka says she has made such a plan that Lakshmi cannot come out. Balvinda asks what is the plan? Malishka asks him to come inside and see. Rano asks Neha, why did you call me? Neha says she is not finding her lipstick. Rano says you called me 1,000 times for a lipstick. Neha says I called you 4 times. Rano scolds her and ends the call. Balvinda comes there and sees Rano. Rano identifies him and comes inside the court and she sits and the judge comes to the court and sits on his chair. Lakshmi is brought into the court by the police. Rano asks Balvinda if he will run away with her money. Balvinda says your money? Rano says now your karma will be calculated. Balvinda says I have kept money for you. Rano threatens Balvinda to give her money and says if I expose you, then you will go to jail directly. Balvinda thinks I should have thought that Rano will be here before coming here. Balvinda lied to Rano that he met with an accident and he will give her her money. Rano says I want it now. Balvinda then asks her to go and tell the judge that he is here. Rano says she will tell the judge. Balvinda stops her and says he will give her the money and Rano says you will be hanged to death if I don't get the money. The prosecution lawyer tells the judge that the case is against a reputed family's daughter-in-law and he tells them that she has done a heinous crime which is spread to the world through the media. He says Lakshmi had made food for the food critics, but after eating, then they all got unwell and hospitalized. Lawyer Ahmad says that Lakshmi has attempted to murder people and she has tried to kill many people at once. Mr. Basu tells them that it was true that the food critics had come and they got unwell, but Lakshmi was not responsible for that. The prosecution lawyer tells everyone that the people were about to die. Mr. Basu says Lakshmi took them to the hospital. The prosecution lawyer says should we forget why they were taken to the hospital? Mr. Basu argues that Lakshmi is not guilty, while the prosecution lawyer also argues. Mr. Basu says Lakshmi did not make the food, she just served the food. He says the chef of the hotel made the food and says she is the owner of the hotel. Why would she make the food? He says if the court wishes, then I will prove that the chefs were given the responsibility to make the food. Lakshmi recalls making the food with the chefs. Mr. Basu says when Lakshmi haven't made the food, then why is she arrested? So this case is baseless. Mr. Basu says that the police did not do their inquiry well and they only heard what the media says. He says the culprit is someone else and why should Lakshmi be punished? He says someone else has poisoned the food and he requests the court to bail Lakshmi out. He repeats that the food is not made by Lakshmi but the chefs, but Lakshmi says no, what the lawyer is saying is wrong because she was the one that made the food. Everyone gets shocked seeing Lakshmi saying the truth. Lakshmi says I had made the food, not that I just served. Mr. Basu says you didn't make the food. Lakshmi says I had made it. Malishka smirks, thinking that Lakshmi is destroying the case by herself, and Sonia smiles, and Lakshmi says it is not the chef's mistake. Lawyer Ahmad says to Lakshmi that you are responsible for adding poison in the food. He says Lakshmi has said it herself, that she has made the poisoned food. Mr. Basu says I have a request. The judge says we will continue the hearing after the lunch break and the court is dismissed. Karishma says it is so easy as Lakshmi admit and made the case against her. Neelam says the criminal can be smart but they do mistake, and Malishka says that Lakshmi is gone forever. Shalu asks Rano that what did my sister did inside. Rano says your sister has hit axe on her leg. Ayush says everything should be fine. Rano hopes that everything should be fine. Grandma tells everyone that Lakshmi couldn't lie. Virendra says Lakshmi has a clean heart. Mr. Basu scolded Lakshmi for talking against herself, but Rishi asks Mr. Basu not to say anything against Lakshmi. Virendra comes there and says that it is not Lakshmi's mistake. Mr. Basu asks that what? Virendra says Lakshmi is having a good and clean heart and she will bear so much, but she cannot let others suffer. He says Lakshmi cannot lie. Mr. Basu says we have to use lie as a weapon to save Lakshmi. Lakshmi says but if someone else gets punished. Mr. Basu says this is a courtroom. I know how the fight happens here. He says let me fight the case, else Virendra can hire another lawyer. Rano is talking on the phone and says they are in the court due to Lakshmi's work. Shalu asks Ayush what happened. Ayush says Lakshmi shouldn't have done this. Shalu says you know Lakshmi, that she cannot lie. Ayush says we actually wanted some time. Shalu says Lakshmi cannot think that anyone else is wrong, and she asks that how will Lakshmi get bail now. Ayush says to Shalu that everyone is with Lakshmi, Rishi is with her, and most importantly, Lakshmi is innocent. He asks Shalu not to be afraid and he asks her. Shalu also asks him. Bani looks on. Ayush looks at Bani and comes to her and he asks them both. He says very soon, Lakshmi will be with you both. Lakshmi asks Rishi if he also feels that she did wrong. Rishi says he is very proud of her because she never left the truth. Lakshmi owed Rishi's hand. Rishi says the case can have some problem. Whatever you told was true, but it was half truth. He says you have made the food, but you did not make any dish to make that incident happen, and he promised Lakshmi that he would take her home in any condition. Virendra tells Mr. Basu that Lakshmi is really good and truthful at heart, and Lakshmi is not made for this world, where people think that honesty is a weakness. He asks Mr. Basu to think that Lakshmi said the truth in this condition. Mr. Basu tells Virendra that he can understand, but Lakshmi has given statement against herself. Lakshmi and Rishi comes there. Mr. Basu asks Lakshmi not to say anything again, and Lakshmi nods her head. Rishi asks Mr. Basu what to do next. The inspector and the lady constable Aliyah comes there, and they take Lakshmi away from there. Mr. Basu tells Rishi that they will go with the same plan, and they will blame everything on the missing chef Mukesh. He says when the police search and bring Mukesh back, then we will question him too, and he asks Rishi to come with him. Shalu, Bani and Ayush comes to Virendra. Shalu says sorry to Virendra about that day. Virendra says even we shouldn't have taken care, and he promised them that Lakshmi will come home with them. He asks them to trust God and says he takes test of good people, but he doesn't let them get defeated. Ayush says it is not easy, but we would win. Karishma asks Grandma if she is hungry. Grandma says no, and says she would have food when Lakshmi comes home, and she makes biniya for her. She says she is going to calm down her mind. Neelam asks, where are you going to? Grandma says Karishma will make you understand. She says you are bad-mouthing about Lakshmi, and I cannot take it. And she goes inside, but Neelam goes behind her. Karishma and Sonia says that they are hungry. Sonia says she has checked online, and all the restaurants around the area are bad. Kiran says that she will throw a party because Lakshmi will not get bail today. Sonia and Karishma says yes. Ahana says we would have a party because Lakshmi will get bailed out. Kiran asks Karishma to make sure that Ahana doesn't become Lakshmi's sister-in-law. Sonia says Ahana will become Malishka's sister-in-law. Malishka shares her happiness with Balvinda and tells him that today it will be decided about her marriage date with Rishi and says she doesn't know what to do. Balvinda asks Malishka to stop dreaming and she should let Lakshmi move away first. Malishka says Lakshmi is gone forever because she has accepted that she had made the food herself in front of the judge. Balvinda says to Malishka that Lakshmi is simple and innocent. Malishka says you live on my money and you are praising Lakshmi. Balvinda says I am your employee. Malishka threatens Balvinda. Balvinda says there is something in Lakshmi surely, that she is of everyone's choice. I and the Oberoi family. Malishka says Lakshmi is not their choice. She says now Rishi has nothing to do with Lakshmi and she asks Balvinda not to marry Lakshmi too. Balvinda says that he will not marry Lakshmi. Malishka says you said right. Lakshmi traps everyone. She says everyone might be thinking of how to take Lakshmi out because she is very good and that is why I made plan 2 steps ahead of them. Balvinda asks Malishka about her plan. Malishka asks Balvinda to see the live show and enjoy. She sees Virendra, Rishi and others coming there and she goes away. Balvinda runs away seeing Rishi and Virendra and he sees the police standing there. He thinks of how to go from there. A constable says the terrorist case hearing is going on. Balvinda sits seeing Shalu there and he gets up. He says victory to India and he asks should I go? The constable asks him to go. Another constable asks him to be careful and says nobody should come here. The court hearing begins again. Mr. Basu says that Lakshmi has accepted that she has made the food and that is why she declared herself guilty. And Mr. Basu says that she is not guilty because Lakshmi made the food but she did not add poison in it. He praises Lakshmi to be a clean and good-hearted woman. He says if Lakshmi wanted, then she would have lied, but she said the truth because she has honesty in herself. Mr. Basu says that Lakshmi is not like the person who puts blame on others to safeguard herself and says Lakshmi is the one who will take others' blame on herself to protect them. The judge hears on. Mr. Basu says Lakshmi did not want others to get blamed and that is why she took this big accusation on her head. But Shalu get doubtful if Mr. Basu will save Lakshmi. Mr. Ahmad says to Mr. Basu that do you want to say that Lakshmi did not make the food? Mr. Basu says Lakshmi had made a tasty food but someone else added poison in the food. He says whoever has added poison in the food is here. Balvinda and Malishka get worried. Mr. Ahmad asks if that person is here. Mr. Basu says not here. Mr. Ahmad asks if he has any proof and Mr. Basu says that he needs time to find some proof. Mr. Ahmad tells the court that Lakshmi has made food and 2 people are critical among the people that ate the food. He says Lakshmi Oberoi is in front of you who had poisoned the people. Mr. Basu says he is doubtful on the chef who was in the hotel that day. He says the chef is missing since that day and if the chef is guilty or not, we don't know and we will know only when the chef comes to give statement. Mr. Basu tells the judge that we will know about the real criminal when Chef Mukesh is found. The judge asks that why didn't you tell us this before? Mr. Basu asks the judge to ask the police to search for Mukesh. Mukesh comes there and says I am here. Lakshmi identifies him. Ayu says from where did he came? Rishi says this means that Mukesh is innocent. He might have seen the news. He says if he will give statement against Lakshmi or in her favor. The judge asks Mukesh to come to the witness box. He asks Ahmad to proceed first. Mr. Ahmad asks for Mukesh's name. Mukesh tells him that he is Mukesh. Mr. Ahmad asks if Mukesh made the food. Mukesh says yes, I have made the food and other chefs were also there. Mr. Basu asks the judge to note down the point and says that means that Lakshmi is innocent. Okay guys, so I went away again, but I want to assure you guys that I'm so sorry for my on and off these days, but I promise you guys that I don't want to promise again, but I'm assuring you guys that I will try as much as possible to give you guys many videos these days. I will try. You guys should bear with me. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.